Hey friends, I'm out here on the balcony with all this background noise and distractions, and so you know what that means. It must be Spending Week 3 update. We had a lot of stuff go on this week. Our kids needed shoes. We've been putting this off for a little while. I've actually been looking at the thrift store. I've been looking at ARC a lot for our shoes, and I have not been able to find, their size. And so we finally found some that were reasonably priced and got them for, a discount on top of their original price, especially since kids at their ages anyway, they outgrow their shoes before they'll wear them out, so we don't need high quality ones anyway, so we were able to get them some shoes for just $25, which was good. It's October and the weather's getting colder here, so they definitely needed some decent shoes and not just, running around in their, sandals and flip-flops and stuff. So I could not wait anymore on that. We did have to get that. Midweek, over the weekend, I got this horrible craving for pizza. And it wasn't just the fact that I craved pizza, like all the cheesiness and like the crustiness of the crust and all this stuff. Just felt like I wanted, takeout pizza really bad. But on top of that, I kind of was being a little bit of a brat. And I was like, I cook every day, because I do. I cook every single day for our family, for dinner. Frequently I'll make lunches on top of that, and so I think a realistic estimate of how often I cook is probably about 10 times a week, every single week. So I was like, I don't want to have to cook, I should get a day off once in a while. I was just throwing a little fit, being a brat. But eventually I recognized it, and I was like, you know what, I just need to chill. I can deal with this, I can make this happen for cheaper. And so I just made some homemade, pizza for easier. It was an easier recipe. It was, pretty makeshift, I should say. So it was able to cover the craving without having to actually buy takeout, and it was easy enough that it was almost like not having to cook that night anyway. So that worked out for that moment, because we don't budget for takeout food or eating out at all. We just have a certain amount that we like to spend on food, and so if we want to do something like that, which we almost never do, we will have to cut back in other ways to make that happen for that week. So that's how we do that. But I made it through that pizza craving and my little stupid fit, and being a brat without breaking the spending freeze. That was difficult, but we did it. And then speaking of cooking, I actually burnt my hand pretty bad. So I had like 5 things going in the oven at one time. I had like burgers that I was melting cheese for, some buns that I was toasting, some french fries, and then 2 loaves of banana bread, one with nuts, one with chocolate. And anyway, I'm smart enough to know better, but I opened the oven and I was reaching inside to grab something, and I was hit with this like poof of steam that kind of burnt me in the face, and I winced a little bit. And as I was looking away, I burnt my hand on the oven rack. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great either, as you can see. So anyway, instead of going to the doctor, which I wouldn't normally do, especially for, easy things like that I can take care of at home, I just take care of it at home. I put some aloe vera on it at first to help, stop the burning, and then after that, I was using coconut oil to keep it moist, and that was working pretty well. But at the same time, I felt like it wasn't all that effective, because I would put it on there and then like 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, I felt like it was already getting dried out and it needed it again. So what I've been doing instead has been putting my homemade antibiotic ointment on it, because it lasts a whole lot longer. It has, more antibiotic properties to it than just straight coconut oil does, because it has essential oils and other stuff in it. And then it helps to keep it moist longer, so I can actually put it on there and it'll be like an hour or 2 until finally I would feel like I need it again. And so that's been working out really well. And so instead of going to a doctor or getting some fancy like steroid creams or whatever else they would give you, I just let things go naturally. I know my body has the ability to heal itself, and I don't really need that sort of outside intervention and other unnatural things. So that's what we did. I just avoid going to the doctor and taking care of it on my own, and I'm really impressed with how well it's working out. So yay for that. And I'll be more careful next time, especially when you have a lot of stuff in the oven. Be careful. That steam is really strong. Anyway, so there was that. And what else? Oh, we had another birthday. We have 3 birthdays almost back to back. First I have my younger daughter's birthday, then a few days later I have my husband's birthday, and then like a week later we have my oldest daughter's birthday, all really close together. And so we had, on her actual birthday, I gave her a book, which she was really happy about, as you'll see in a minute. We gave her, or we made a dinner that night that she likes, and so that worked out well. And then I also made some birthday brownies. I just didn't want any cake or anything else at this point. I just wanted something easier to make, so I made brownies. And then I even let them have seconds, which we usually don't let them do, so that was special too for them. But then over the weekend, we also had a birthday party. Because my kids' birthdays are so close together, about 2 weeks apart, we usually have a birthday party for them in the middle week. And that's what this last weekend was. So my mom let us have the little party over at her house. We went over there and did that. And so I had to pay a little bit of money for that. I did give her some money for some food, because she did have a lunch for, you know, me, my brother, and his new girlfriend and her kids. And then my older brother and his kids and all that. So yeah, I had to kick in for that. And then we also played this Bean Boozled game, which I'll show you in a minute. It was really fun. But I bought it before the spending freeze, so that was bought and paid for before that. But it was still a fun game to play, and it was actually fairly decently inexpensive, and it was definitely the highlight of the party. As you'll see in a minute, my dad even had some fun with it, and yeah, it was just really fun. He called it the highlight of the party, and everybody had fun. They were even talking about it for a while afterwards, so that was good. So there was that. And then one last thing, we had some good frugal entertainment. We got to do a free self-defense class. I looked in the newspaper online and we found it, and it was like this grand opening for a place, and so we were like, hey, let's go to this. So we went to this free self-defense class. It was really fun. We learned some good valuable insights on some different things. And yeah, that was just like not only good entertainment, but again, it was also useful, because who knows when you'll need skills like that. So we tried to keep it all under control as best as we could, as we usually do. And so in the end, with all of the extra expenses, this week we ended up about $25 ahead, which was, you know, not bad for having all of the things that we have come up, it seems like, every single week. Can I get a witness? So anyway, yeah, I was hoping it'd be a little better, but you know what, that's all right. Next week I'm gonna really focus on food again, because I know that if I was more creative, we could probably get this bill cut back even more. We picked a bunch of winter squash out of our garden. I have a bunch of beets that are ready, and so we're gonna try and work with what, you know, the last of what we have coming out of our garden to make it as cheap as possible. And I don't see anything else coming up. We don't have any birthdays or anything else, and so hopefully we'll be able to get it done for cheap. So we'll see how next week goes. And so here, check out the free self-defense class and the birthday. And the last birthday, finally. All right, kiddo, go ahead.
Nice.
It's called Amazon wrapping paper.
Great. Thanks.
It's a brand new Hank the Cowdog book that just came out a few days ago.
Thank you.
Are you excited?
Yes, very much so.
All right.
So you gotta show it.
And 5 seconds later, making birthday brownies. How are the birthday brownies?
Good. Wonderful.
Hey, I want you! Kick him in the ball. Now, hit him in the head. Hey, I want you to try.